Welcome to episode number 131 of the Beyond Social Media Show, the podcast for marketing, advertising, public relations, and communications professionals. We're recording live on YouTube on February 21, 2016. My name is David Erickson. You can find me on Twitter at @DErickson. I am with my co-host, of course, BL Ochman. BL, you can find at What's Next on Twitter. We always start off with the worst story that happened in online communications during the past week, and BL always has the honors to kick it off. BL, what was the worst story of the week?
Well, before we get to the worst story of the week, I have to wish my nephew, Jacob Schwartz, a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jake. I love you. Okay, I think the worst story of the week is the FBI versus Apple. And the source of the story that I read is Macworld, and the reporter was Oscar Raimundo. And obviously, Apple has refused to comply with the request for a backdoor on the iPhone. And Facebook, Google's CEO Sundar Pichai, Twitter's Jack Dorsey, Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple, McAfee, Edward Snowden, the WhatsApp CEO, Jan Koum, Mark Cuban, all stand with Apple, as do I. And Apple's challenging the federal court order to help them access an iPhone used by one of the shooters in San Bernardino terrorist attack. And Apple is saying that if this happens, then what's next? What comes after that? So a lot of people have been taking sides after Cook posted an open letter explaining his position. And Congressman Ted Lieu, who's a Democrat from California, said that the government can't compel Apple or any other private sector company to become an arm of law enforcement. The court order also begs the question, he said, where does this kind of coercion stop? Can the government force Facebook to create software that provides analytic data on who's likely to become a criminal? Can the government force Google to provide the names of all the people who searched for the term ISIL? Can the government force Amazon to write software that identifies who might be suspicious based on the books that they order? So, you know, besides Donald Trump and the usual right-wing people that you would expect to oppose Apple, I was surprised by Senator Dianne Feinstein from California, a Democrat from California, who on the PBS NewsHour argued that Apple should produce the information. And there's a probable cause warrant that the FBI has issued. And she says that the iPhone was owned by the San Bernardino County and that it's given its permission. She said if Apple denies the request, and she's the vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, she's going to draft a bill to change the laws and force Apple into compliance. And she said, we are in jeopardy if you cannot, through proper evidence submitted by a probable cause warrant, be open to these systems. We're in trouble. And if that happens, I'm going to Cape Breton.
Yeah, I agree that it is the worst story of the week. I disagree with your position, though. I hate to side with Dianne Feinstein because I got major problems with her in particular as a legislator, but it's pursuant to a court order. Okay, so they went through the process of requesting, putting their argument before a judge who was, an independent party that needs to decide whether it's a legitimate request by the FBI. As I understand it, this is not creating the back door that Apple claims it is, because it is specific to the operating system of that particular phone.
That's not true. That's not true.
All iPhones. Now listen, I listened to Google This Week in Google, Leo Laporte, highly respected technology guy who had another technology guy on the show talking about this specific issue, that it's particular to that phone and doesn't apply to every phone. So it isn't creating the backdoor that Apple claims it is. And I think it's absolutely appalling that they have this, they're above the law, apparently. We went through all these processes. It's not unreasonable search and seizure. This is a phone that was owned by a terrorist, and it only applies to that phone. It's not creating this precedent that Apple is. I think it's just a bunch of PR bullshit. And yeah, I completely disagree with
And
this.
I completely disagree with you because, okay, where does this stop? This has to be done
It
now for
stops
this.
in this instance. I mean,
It
you have to.
doesn't. It will
You have.
never stop in this instance, and that's the issue, Dave.
It's
It
no,
will
no, no. It's
never
not
stop
creating. It
here.
is not creating a back door.
It
It
is
is not.
creating a precedent for forcing companies to comply with
So, do
orders.
you think that there's no instance where then you disagree with the idea that law enforcement is able to go in and search property in a crime?
I don't disagree with that. What I disagree with is that Apple says that this would indeed be a backdoor. Apple says, and
Just
other
because
companies.
they say it doesn't
I'm
mean it's
talking, Dave.
true.
Let me finish. And other companies are agreeing with them that this is a dangerous precedent. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not sure that you or I are qualified to really know the answer to this.
I, I,
Some
I
of it
agree
is,
with that as far as technology is concerned, but I did hear from some legitimately reputable sources that say this isn't creating backdoor, and all the usual suspects would agree with them. I mean,
but equally so.
these companies are companies that don't want to have to deal with the federal government
But
asking them
they
for
have
these requests
cooperated
for
before.
public relations reasons.
Apple has cooperated on many different occasions, as has Google. This is a different situation because anyway, we can't solve this one, Dave, and it's
That's
interesting
true.
that we disagree. And there are people on both sides who are reputable and credible in every way. So I just think it's a dreadful situation.
I think it's likely going to the Supreme Court, and we'll have we may or may not have a resolution to that,
Yep, that's right.
depending
Well, yeah,
upon
we could
whether.
go on about that one, right? So,
Yeah.
on a lighter note, I suppose it's a lighter note. Cruz became the laughing stock of Twitter this week when they published a clearly photoshopped image of Marco Rubio shaking hands with President Obama on a website that says Marco Rubio is the Republican Obama. So what of course followed was that everybody started to Photoshop Cruz into a variety of things, and also so that one of my favorite ones is the assassination of President Lincoln, and and Marco Rubio has the gun. And then there's one where somebody photoshopped Ted Cruz into a hug with Obama. And
A
then
hug, a
one,
warm embrace. That
a
was my
warm
absolute
embrace.
favorite.
And no, I don't know,
Got
maybe
his
the
head
Miley
against his
Cyrus.
shoulder.
I know. The Miley Cyrus in his underwear is another one of my favorites of Cruz. So, I mean, somebody has to have a sense of humor because it just seems like the country's lost it.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna, I mean, don't Photoshop stuff if you're a political campaign because it's gonna be found out, and this will be the reaction. Um, Along political lines, so here's another a political misstep that was fairly amusing. So you remember, you're old enough, I'm old enough to remember Reagan's Morning in America ad, largely widely considered one of the most successful political ads of all time. It opens with a shot of a harbor at dawn with a tugboat or a boat going across the water with a voiceover. It's morning in America. And it goes on to extol the progress of the Reagan's previous 4 years. Really extremely effective commercial, credited with helping him win re-election. So Marco Rubio, everybody, all the Republicans, their patron saint is Ronald Reagan, right? So Marco Rubio recently released a commercial that literally follows the exact same script as Reagan's Morning in America ad, the same sounding voiceover. It's morning again in America, except it discusses all the horrible things that went wrong during the Obama administration. The ad
They
mimics.
call it the Obama-Clinton administration, by
Yeah,
the way.
that's right. Obama Clinton is. The ad mimics Reagan's commercial so closely that it even has the similar opening shot of the harbor at dawn with the same sounding "It's morning in America" voiceover. The only problem is the harbor is in Vancouver. It's morning in Canada, apparently.
It's so funny. How did they know that?
Well, the Vancouver Sun had an article on it
Oh,
saying, "Thanks for featuring our harbor in your American political advertisement."
oh, that's great. That's absolutely great. Well, he's not a candidate anymore, and this may be one of the reasons why. But Rick Bruner, my friend, pointed out an article by Heather Taylor, and Jeb Bush apparently forgot to renew his jebbush.com domain. So who bought it? Donald Trump,
Of course.
and redirected jebbush.com to Donald Trump. And this is not the only one this happened to. TedCruz.com is not owned by Ted Cruz. These people are getting some really lousy advice about the internet and about social media, and they're not understanding the blowback that you get when you do things like that, and that they're not insignificant things in the end effect, because so many people get in on it. And that one is just like such a rookie mistake. It's mind-blowing.
Well, it is, and there's this nice little feature, a beautiful little feature that domain registrars have. It's called auto renew.
Right.
Just turn it
Exactly.
on.
Does that bring us to better news?
It
Is there better
does.
news?
Yes.
All right, tell us one of yours, Dave.
So let me scroll here. Uh, all right. So yeah, here we go. Facebook is opening up instant articles to everyone. This is from a Facebook post by Josh Roberts. So Facebook's going to roll out their instant articles feature, which is publishing basically on Facebook and making it so articles on mobile devices on Facebook appear instantly rather than taking some time to load. They're rolling it out to everyone on April 12th, which is the company's F8 conference. They promise publishers will have full control over the look of their stories as well as data and ads. They'll have the ability to bring their own direct sold ads and keep 100% of the revenue for their instant articles. They'll be able to track the data on the ads, either served through their existing ad measurement systems, or they can monetize their content through Facebook's audience network. Publishers can use their existing web-based analytics systems to track their article traffic or use third-party providers. I would say go into this with eyes wide open. I have questioned the wisdom of publishing your content in native programs like Facebook without publishing it elsewhere first on your
Oh, I
own
couldn't agree
web-based
more.
platform. So if you're going to do this, I recommend publishing first to your own platform and then publishing to Facebook. And your goal should be to get newsletter subscriptions, I think. Who knows how long this is going to last? Who knows how long Facebook is going to allow you to get 100% of your ad revenue out of this stuff? They can change their terms of service anytime they want.
And
So
they do.
get what you can out of it while the getting's good. But I do think the instant loading of articles on mobile devices is an important thing people need to pay attention to. So both Facebook Instant Articles, but Google's got their AMP program as well, which loads in articles instantly on mobile devices. So it's time to look at that. Just go in with eyes wide open. This is a walled garden, but it's time to take a serious look at this stuff.
I'm a little confused. This is different than Notes, right? Where you can put your blog posts in blog format on Facebook.
Yeah, this is instant articles is what they had been with select publishers have only been able to use it. So it's a way to automate it. So you can provide a specialized RSS feed to Facebook that will, if you publish from your CMS content management system, and give them a specialized RSS feed, it'll automatically pump in your articles in the format that Facebook wants for instant articles. I think it's a distinction without a lot of difference with the Facebook Notes, because the Facebook Notes appear to load quickly too.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's why I wonder if this is the evolution of it. But I saw something just this morning on Facebook. A friend of mine posted an absolutely hilarious dog video of 5 dogs singing. I mean, it was one of the funnier things I ever saw. I almost peed in my pants when I watched it, and it had like 5 million Facebook views. And I did what I always do before I reposted it. I went and found it on YouTube, where it had 3,400 views, because there is so much more traffic for videos on Facebook. But as we've discussed before, this robs the creator of ad revenue that they would be making on YouTube. So I said to a friend of mine, like, just go to YouTube and get a link. And he said, too much trouble. And that's what Facebook counts on.
Well, also, I mean, I think the Facebook video views are inflated because they're 3 seconds long.
Right, right. That's true. So, okay, I'm delighted to see, besides the fact that the New Yorker has started a podcast, which is just a delightful one, that they are now taking old New Yorker stories and turning them into short films for Amazon Prime. This is from Tim Basinger on Adweek. And, you know, it's an extension of Condé Nast trying to get into digital video. So the episodes are 30 minutes long, and they have a variety of documentaries, comedy shorts, poetry, animation, and New Yorker cartoons. But the cool part is it's executive produced by Alex Gibney and Kahane Cooperman, and he's a longtime veteran of The Daily Show, and Alex Gibney is an Oscar and Emmy-winning filmmaker. So, and he's known for his work in things like Going Clear, the film about Scientology, and Prison of Belief. So, you know, really quite high level, high scale from the New Yorker, but wonderful stories so far.
Yeah, I watched the first episode, and there's a segment in about Honoré de Balzac, who apparently, from their his Wikipedia entry, drank 50 cups of coffee a day. So they did take off on that, featuring Paul Giamatti as Balzac, drinking 50 cups of coffee a day. It's absolutely hilarious.
Well, I mean, and the whole way that they're approaching it is just so beautifully done. So, what else you got, Dave?
Well, speaking of Facebook videos, in our previous discussion, Facebook is offering video metrics that are beyond what they've offered heretofore. So this is from a Facebook post by Aniad Gomez Artigoza. So new video metrics for page insights include minutes viewed, unique viewers, views, 10-second views, average percentage completion, so the portion of the video on a percentage basis that was viewed in an average watch session, audience retention, which is something that that YouTube has had for a while, but now that Facebook has it, where you can watch where viewers drop off interest, so you can see what parts of the video are most interesting to your audience. Average view duration, sound on versus sound off metrics, organic versus paid metrics. So Facebook is finally getting with the program and getting serious about video metrics, even though they have that 3-second view thing, which is absurd, but they still got a long way to go to catch up with YouTube. But
well, and the issue is
better this than nothing.
Still not searchable.
Yeah.
And so as a creator, you still can't even find out unless somebody tells you that your video's on Facebook. I mean, it's really abhorrent to me. So I love this story, and I had to make sure this was true, and it is. Donald Trump's menswear line is made in, wait for it, Mexico. And the funny part is the story appeared last summer, and Macy's dropped him at the time, and for some reason it resurfaced this past week, and I just think that's great.
Exporting jobs to Mexico.
Yeah.
If he builds
also China, his stuff is made in Mexico and China, and he's gonna stop that, and he's gonna build a wall, blah blah blah. Well, that wall might not let his stuff through. I just love it. I gotta tell you another one about Donald Trump. This is probably one of the best travel programs ever. Cape Breton Island in Canada. It's an island off the coast of Canada, has a campaign. And it says, don't wait until Donald Trump is elected president to find somewhere else to live. This is not a joke. See for yourself. You belong here with us on Cape Breton Island. Start now. That way on election day, just hop on a bus to start your new life in Cape Breton, where healthcare is free, where women can get abortions, Muslim people can roam freely, and the only walls are holding up the roof of our extremely affordable houses. In Cape Breton, we value diversity. I'm ready to go. I mean, I mean, at least just go and take a look. Just see, like, maybe it is an alternative. But isn't that clever? Isn't that wonderful?
That is clever. Yep. How did you find out about that?
I saw it on Twitter, but I think the original article was on Mashable.
Was it just a shared link, or was it an ad? I'm curious about whether they're targeting people.
It was a shared link, and it's just so freaking clever. Somebody else had an article which I meant to get the link to, 9 places to move if Trump wins. You got to get ready. It could happen.
So another video one. Twitter. It's all about video today. Twitter has a new feature. This is from Twitter. Twitter blog post. They are rolling out video capture for direct messages. Now, I sent you one. Have you checked your
Not today.
Twitter account? Okay, so I sent you a direct video message. So on mobile apps on iOS or Android, you now have the ability to record a video from your app and send it as a direct message. So my question is this it's a cool feature. But is this for competing with Snapchat? Because that's a big part of what Snapchat does, right?
Yeah, that's an odd move for Twitter, if you ask me.
I like it. Well,
it's an interesting move. I wonder how it will play out for customer service.
Well, they do. They also added some customer service features this week too. So they have feedback mechanisms now for customer service that allow have built-in Net Promoter Score type of metrics.
What do you mean for consumers?
For brands.
Oh, I thought we could rate the brands.
The brands, the brands doing customer service give them a quick link to ask how they're doing. So it's a feedback mechanism, basically.
Well, I had a little go around this week with Lyft because I used Lyft to go to a doctor's appointment, and I ordered an individual car, and that quickly canceled, and then they sent one with people in it, and we ended up where they wanted to go was like in the opposite direction from where I wanted to go, and we got in traffic and we rode around for half an hour. I was late for my appointment, and then the same damn thing happened on the way home. So I was on Twitter and I was hysterical, and and of course they did what brands want to do: DM us. No, we're going to have this conversation in public until I get what I'm asking you for, which is A, my money back, and B, some more than credit for more than the rides I took today. So long story short, I now have quite a bit of credit, and I will try it again. And so the person I shared the cab home with, I was telling her the story, and she said there's something wrong with her algorithm because that has happened to her as well. But she said, I do social media, and we hate people like you.
Yeah.
She does social media for a really big brand, and she said, people like you make us crazy. But I do have a really wonderful customer service story. Okay, I use Nuvi for social relationship platform for one of my clients, and their rep sent me a get well card saying, I hope your arm is healing quickly. And it had, she knows I have a dog, and it had a picture of Snoopy and in bed with flowers, and Woodstock is there. And I thought, my goodness, that is above and beyond what you would expect from your social relationship manager, I thought that was really brilliant on her part.
Good. Well done.
Yeah. And I put it all over, like saying how wonderful she is and look at the platform, and, what a nice thing to do.
Yeah. So we done with the good stuff?
No, the other thing that happened is a wonderful anti-smoking campaign. I saw it in a promoted tweet. Smoking equals no cats, which equals no cat videos, and everyone knows cat videos hold the internet together. And this campaign points out is by a company called 72 and Sunny, an agency, and it points out that cats are likely to get cancer if the owner smokes, and if cats die, there will be less adorable cats and therefore less adorable cat videos. So the hashtag is Catmageddon, and it launched during the Grammy Awards, and it urges teenagers to prevent this catastrophic event from happening. And apparently there are more than 1 million cat channels on YouTube, and you know, there are some of the most popular cats, Little Bub and Keyboard Cat and Aaron's Animals, and I mean, really,
Grumpy
there's just
cat?
Rumba Cat.
That's why Grumpy's grumpy?
Grumpy's not in there. Grumpy's over. I guess Grumpy's over. On to the new cats. Yes, that does bring, does bring us to shiny objects.
Well, I've got Twitter again. Twitter has a new feature, GIF search. So this is, they're rolling out the ability to, over the coming weeks, everyone around the world on iOS, Android, and Twitter.com, the web, will be able to search by keyword or browse categories for GIFs. And they're working with partners. Their partners are Giphy, the website where you go and look for GIFs that you want, and Riffsy. So it's all about the GIFs. That's fun. But Riffsy also makes the GIF keyboard for mobile devices. For iOS, I installed it, and it is a keyboard for you to search their catalog of GIFs and by keyword or by category, and add those to your text messages or your tweets or whatever. So a nice, cool little tool.
It brings up the importance of how you label your content and your GIF, you know, because if you don't label it correctly, oops, Dave just disappeared. If you don't, come back, Dave. If you don't label it correctly, then it won't be found. Well, while Dave comes back, because I'm sure he will, I came upon Sensor One, which is a tiny security system, and it's made by the San Francisco-based startup MetaSensor. It's a hexagonal tile about the size of a quarter, and you can stick it on just about anything, like a laptop, your front door, your purse, anything you think you might forget or lose. And if the device is moved a certain distance, an alarm sounds through a Bluetooth connection, and it can be programmed to let you know if you left your computer behind or whatever. And right now it's on Indiegogo, $79 per device, and it's expected to ship around September. And that just sounded like an interesting one to me. And that's what I have for shiny new objects.
Wow, that's very cool.
It is a cool one, and it's like a little tiny thing.
All right, so let's wrap this up. Conversion, this is daily numbers, conversion rate optimization methods. So this is the value and difficulty of conversion rate optimization methods. Conversion rate optimization, for those of you that don't know, is taking a process that converts into something, a purchase, a newsletter subscription, and looking at the the process by which that happens and optimizing it so you get better results, basically. So this is customer journey analysis is at the top of the list as highly valuable. 63% of respondents, e-commerce professionals, said it was highly valuable. And only 16% said it was very difficult. So customer journey analysis, we're all fairly familiar with that by now. A/B testing, 60% said it's highly valuable, 7% said it's very difficult. So a lot of people are doing A/B testing, and that's pretty straightforward. Usability testing, 55% said it's highly valuable, only 8% said it's difficult. Segmentation, 55% said it's highly valuable. Cart abandonment analysis, for those in e-commerce, 47% said it's highly valuable. So we're pretty, what this tells me is we're we're pretty much along the lines of pretty sophisticated in terms of optimizing our processes to get better results. If you're in e-commerce, I guess, but I think in digital marketing, that's a big thing as well.
I can't imagine how you wouldn't want to do that.
Exactly.
I mean,
Incremental. I mean, just incrementally improving a process can return large results over time. So
I have to ask you a question. Is it still light out in Minneapolis?
yes, it is.
Really? It's been dark here for quite a while. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What time is it going to get dark there?
It's starting to get dark now, but it's we still got light out. Yep.
Wow. I guess you're a little bit on a different part of the tilt, So this is a good place to mention our newsletter. If you want to keep up with us, then you need to go to BeyondSocialMediaShow.com, subscribe to our newsletter where we publish the videos every week with a playlist, and where our subscribers get the big book of shiny new objects, which has, I can't remember the number, 51, I think, of our favorite apps that we've covered on the show. And we will be updating that on a regular basis. And if you're a subscriber, you'll get the update and you'll get the book to begin with. And seriously, I use this every day. This is something that is really, really valuable, because when we cover things on the show, we really have, tested them, used them, love them, or we wouldn't be sharing them. And so you need to have this.
Absolutely. So subscribe, BeyondSocialMediaShow.com/newsletter. Thanks for watching episode 131 of Beyond Social Media Show. We'll have links to everything that we talked about at BeyondSocialMediaShow.com/131. And again, subscribe to the newsletter so that you don't miss an episode. You can find me on Twitter at Erickson. My blog is e-strategyblog.com. I also blog at my agency's blog, creativepr.com/blog. BL you can find at What's Next on Twitter. Her blog is what'snextblog.com. She writes for Ad Age, and she is the grand poobah of Maximum Dash Plus, where you can hire her for online events and online video marketing as well. So definitely check that out.
And we'll be back next week, same time, same station. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching.